Is it possible to lose weight, lose fat, and become your fittest and healthiest self whilst working a sedentary job, right? Whilst working at a desk, maybe 40, 50, 60 hours a week, depending on your level, right? Well, I'm here to say that it is. I've done it, right? So a bit of my journey, right? A bit about my journey is that I was the fit guy going into corporate, for my corporate career. Young kid, I wasn't that fit. But when I got to the age about 15, I was probably hitting the gym and then started jujitsu and did all sorts of things. By the time I was 18, I went into corporate. Then within the next 3, 4 years, I entered a fitness competition called High Rocks. And when I was at that fitness competition, I thought I was going to do amazing. I thought everything's going to go incredibly well, right? Then I didn't do as well as I thought I did. I did probably place in the bottom like 25%. And then when I got the photos back with my top off, I was like, is this what I actually look like? And I was shocked to see the results. I had literally put on at least 10% body fat, easily about 15 kilos, right? A lot of it was pure fat, right? And I've noticed that my energy was down, that my productivity was all over the place. And I was just living a sedentary lifestyle. It creeped up on me. I swore to myself it never happened, and it did. And if this has happened to you, it's completely normal because the sedentary lifestyle, working at your desk, whether you're in the office, at home, or hybrid role, it's very easy to fall into this, right? Think about it when you're in the office, loads of snacks, right? You're sitting down most of the day, you're in meetings, same at home, right? You don't really get too many steps in. And you're spending all your time working that you forget to just move around. If you're constantly going between different sites, because you're not working at a desk job, right? People that like construction or anything like that, they're always on the go, they're always moving. And even though it's just walking, they're just so active throughout the day that it's harder for them to stack that fat, right? So it's entirely possible to do it because I did it. And what happened after that was I lost 10 kilos, 10, 15 kilos, and at least 10% body fat, right? And now I'm in my fittest, healthiest shape I've ever been in. My productivity's through the roof. And I help people just like me back in the day. So just like you, if you're watching this video, to achieve these results. Now, the way I achieved it, it isn't anything crazy, right? So the first thing you have to do is just acknowledge that you are in the situation. Take a photo of yourself in the mirror with your top off and just say to yourself, honestly, is this the shape I want to be in? Am I happy with this shape, right? Is this what I want to be? And be honest with yourself. Maybe compare it to some old photos or whatever and be like, oh, am I happy with this? Or compare it to where you want to be. Now, once you've decided where you want to go, maybe it's lose 10 kilos, maybe it's get some more energy, maybe it's all of them. You have to put a plan in place. Now, the thing is, and the number one mistake people make is they try to train like bodybuilders when you're working at a desk all the time. It does not work, right? Listen, you're a high performing man. You got so many things going on. You got meetings, you got deadlines, right? You got client presentations. And on top of that, you're trying to fit in session 5, 6 times a week for like an hour and a half minimum and track your calories. No. That isn't going to work. And while it works in theory, sticking to it is all that matters. Because if you can't stick to something, it doesn't matter how good it is. So I tried counting calories. I was training for sometimes 5, 6 times a week, maybe 2 hours, just because I also love the training. But I just wanted to be in my best shape. I always thought more was better. More is not better, right? Do not make that mistake. So the first thing I did was I reduced my training to 3 times a week, about 45-minute sessions, sometimes 4, right? And this was just gym, right? Then I really made a focus on getting my 10,000 steps, which was a lot harder than I thought because when I was working from home a lot of the time, and especially during COVID, and getting out for a walk was just not part of my daily routine, was not part of habits. And I thought I could escape it. Makes no difference. You cannot escape it. Just be active, right? And it's the easiest way. If you struggle with that right now, take your meetings on the go, right? You don't have to make extra time for this. So you might take a meeting where you don't have to contribute too much, but you still have to be there, right? You take that on the go, headphones in, camera off on your phone, right? Or if it's a one-to-one, maybe you do the same thing. Or at the very least, maybe you get a standing desk where you stand up during your meetings. Even if, your camera's off, you can stand up and walk around and listen to it, right? Maybe do some activities, the house or whatever. And all these little things start to stack. And that brings me to my next point is habit stacking. So when it comes to habit stacking, right? Habits are what determine everything that we do, right? You get up in the morning, you've got a set routine, you don't even think about it, you do it. You might get up, go to the toilet and brush your teeth. That's just instantly what happens. For other people, they might get up and jump in the shower straight away. So what we need to do is get the habits of the fittest version of you, the person that's already achieved the goal you want to achieve, and implement them into you right now. Download them like a file into your brain, into your body. Now, how do we do this? Well, you need to start believing that you are capable of achieving what you want. Because let's be honest, if you truly believed you were capable of achieving what you want and you truly wanted to achieve it, you would have achieved it by now. So it's one of two things. One, you don't believe you can do it, or two, you don't really want it, or three, both, right? So assuming that you do want it, right? That's important. Do you believe that you can do it? And even if you don't believe you can do it right now, the way to trick yourself into doing it is to just constantly repeat to yourself that you are the version of yourself who's achieved that goal already. I'll give you an example. When I was 15 kilos overweight, right? 25% body fat, in my head, I was already like, it's already done. I already know that I'm going to drop to at least 15% body fat. And year round, I walk around 13, 14% body fat. I already knew it was going to happen. So because I believed it was going to happen, I just kept repeating it to myself. Even though when it didn't look like it in the mirror, I would take the actions that that version of me would take, right? So I was doing the steps. I was watching what I'd eat. I was not tracking calories. I was doing the plate method. We can touch on that later, right? But all these little habits were starting to make sense. And because I believed it, the more I repeated it to myself, the more I was likely to take action on things, and things just made sense. If I identified as the version of myself who already 15% body fat and had already lost that 10, 15 kilos and was full of energy, I wouldn't even dare snack throughout the day, right? Because that's just not what that version of me would do. I wouldn't dare mess up my recovery or sleep, because that's not what the version of me would do. It just makes making the right choices so much easier. And it's not a thing that many people talk about. So definitely implement that. And then the final thing when it comes to dropping that weight and getting your best shape when you work a sedentary job, right, is just the food. Now, you need to be very careful what you eat, but it doesn't have to be difficult, especially in the corporate world, right? You're out for client dinners, team dinners, there's snacks everywhere, especially when things are free, everyone wants to grab them, right? So what you do is you use the plate method. Grab your plate, use the same plate every day or lunchbox container, whatever it may be, and you aim to split it into 75% high quality sources of protein, the best you can find, right? And then the other 25% high quality sources of carbs. And then you make sure that you do not pile the plate very high, you just keep it flat. Now, the reason for this is, one, you still need to know how much food you're eating in order to adjust, right? So if you're eating a certain amount and your weight's going up, you need to reduce it, right? But the easiest way to do that without tracking calories and adding any extra time to your day is just to keep this plate the same, the proportions the same, even if you are eating different food every day, which I'm sure a lot of people are, right? Or we all eat different foods all the time. Just those proportions allow it to even out. And then what you do is you track your weight over time. And if you see that every day I'm having 3 meals, I'm sticking to the portions, I make sure my volume is the same by keeping it flat on the same plate, and you're doing everything else, and you see that your weight's going up still, and you want to lose weight, then you can either reduce the size of my plate, get a smaller plate. I can either just reduce the volume I put on my plate, right? I can do one of those two things, and then I can track it for another week or two and see how my weight responds. Is it going down now? Perfect. And then you can just keep adjusting from there. It's very easy, right? It takes a little bit of getting used to in the beginning, but it's a lot easier. It's easier to stay consistent with it than tracking calories, right? So those are the main things: is get your workout on point, your nutrition on point, but also the self-identity. Your identity is everything, right? If you don't believe you can do it, then you're not going to be able to do it. And if you need help, right, just believing that you can do it, need someone to hold you accountable, right? I've helped hundreds of men just like you go from where they are right now to where they want to be, right? And a lot of it has come down to identity and the habits, right? That's the main thing. It's not just what your workouts and your nutrition, that's all well and good, but none of that matters if you don't truly believe you can achieve it. So if you would like my help to implement the corporate athlete protocol into your life, then go to my description. There's a link to my calendar to book a one-to-one call. We will go over exactly where you are, where you want to get to, map out a plan to get there, talk about the identity you need to be in, and if it's a good fit for you, we can get going.